Hello. In this video, we are going to discuss Chapter 3, Ionic Compounds and Metals, Section 3, Names and Formulas for Ionic Compounds. By the end of this video, you will be able to define formula unit and relate it with the composition of ionic compounds, to write the formulas for the compounds formed from different ions and oxyanions, to name the conventions for ionic compounds and oxyanions. The keywords coming in this section are formula unit, polyatomic ions, and oxyanions. So what is formula unit? It is the lowest whole number ratio of ions represented in an ionic compound. So in this figure, you can see the crystal lattice for NaCl. So formula unit will be the whole number ratio of ion represented. That is, this one portion of the crystal lattice is the formula unit. So this portion of the crystal lattice contains two units, that is one cation, that is Na plus, and one anion, that is Cl minus. So this is the formula unit for sodium chloride. Okay, so in order to write the formula for an ionic compound, you should be knowing the charges of the elements which are forming the ionic compound. So for that, you can refer to this table. This is the periodic table which has some elements missing here, but you have some of the ions represented here which will be useful for you to write the formula. So there is a general trend in order to remember the charges. Always the group 1 elements will have +1 charge and group 2 elements will have +2 charge. Now you have to keep in mind, as we have already discussed before, the metals will tend to lose electrons. So in case of group 1 and 2, which comes under S block, they will always tend to lose electrons. And if you consider this one, that is from group 3 to group 12, which is D block, also contains metals. So you can see that they are forming cations. Now if you see group 1 and group 2, the oxidation states are fixed, the charges are fixed. Whereas for D block, you can see there are different charges for one particular element. This is because D block metals are capable of showing variable oxidation states because of their incompletely filled D orbitals. Okay. Now, if you go to this part, that is from group 13 to group 17, which comes under the P block, you can see that 17th group will have -1 charge, 16th group will have -2 charge, 15th group will have -3, 14 um, 14 which has carbon, usually it will show molecular compounds, so they will, most of the compounds of carbon will be molecular, but if there are any ionic compound, the oxidation state will be -4, and aluminium in group 13 will show +3 oxidation state. So the periodic table will be given to you in the exam, so you can just write the charges and then it will be easy for you to memorize the charges. Let us see what are oxyanions. We have come across different anions like O2 minus, S2 minus, Cl minus, Br minus, etc. All these ions are made up of single element. So you call such ions as monoatomic ions. Whereas if you see the ions which are included here, CO3 2 minus, SO4 2 minus, the examples, if you see here, they are made up of more than one element. So these ions are polyatomic ions. So you should be knowing the difference between the monoatomic ions and polyatomic ions. The charge of monoatomic ions can be obtained from the periodic table if you know the positions and the group valence. Whereas for polyatomic ions, you should remember the ion as well as their charge. Okay. Now, how is polyatomic ions different from the oxyanions? Okay. They are almost the same, but in case of an oxyanion, out of the different elements, one of the element is oxygen. That is, it is an anion containing one or more oxygen atoms bonded to another element, and that another element will be a nonmetal. So any polyatomic anion containing oxygen comes under oxyanion. So the basics, the general charges are -1, -2 and -3. Oxyanion nomenclature. This depends upon the number of oxygen atoms present in the anion. You can see the example here. NO2 minus is called as nitrite, NO3 minus is called as nitrate. In the same way, SO3 2 minus is called as sulfite and SO4 2 minus is called as sulfate. So more the number of oxygen, the suffix used will be ATE. So when the number of oxygen will be more, the suffix, the ending will be ATE. When the number of oxygen is lesser, the suffix will be ITE for that particular type of the oxyanion. But if you refer to the example 1 and 2, you can see that in these pairs, the charges are same. Even for nitrite, the charge is -1. Nitrate, the charge is -1 as well. For sulfite and sulfate, for both of them, the charge is -2. The charge of the polyatomic ion will be the same, even though the number of oxygen is more or less. Oxyanion nomenclature. So if you look at the oxyanions involving halogens, they are having 4 different types of oxyanions. Okay, so if you look at the list of the oxyanions for halogens, you can see a pattern. Okay, by remembering this pattern, you can also memorize the names. Okay, so for this you should be knowing the formula for the halate. Okay, for chlorine it is chlorate, for bromine it is bromate, for iodine it is iodate, and so on. Okay, so if you remember the formula for the halate, then the pattern can be used in order to memorize the other oxyanions. So if you look at the list here, from chlorate to chloride, you can see that the difference in oxygen is one oxygen less. Okay, and if you see the changes from chlorate to hypochlorite, the difference is 2 oxygen less. Also, if you see the changes from chlorate to perchlorate, the difference is 1 oxygen added. Okay, so what is the pattern? The charges will remain the same. It is -1 for all of them. So if you remember chlorate, if you remove one oxygen, you know less oxygen in the sense it will end with ITE. Okay, 2 less oxygen means it will have a prefix hypo followed by ITE. 1 more oxygen than chlorate, it will be having a prefix per and the ending will be ATE. Okay, so if you remember chlorate, then based on this pattern you can memorize. Let's look at the steps to write the formula for an ionic compound. So first step is to write the symbol of the element along with their charge. For this you can refer to the periodic table. And the second step is to check the charges. If it is numerically equal, there are no subscripts, and if they are numerically unequal, then you are supposed to cross over the charges. Next step is when to use the bracket. Brackets are used only when you have polyatomic ions present. It can be a polyatomic cation or it can be a polyatomic anion. And always remember, you use brackets for the polyatomic anions when the subscripts are more than 2. Sorry, more than 1. So last step is to check the total charge, that you have to see that the total charge will be equal to 0, because you know that the ionic compounds are neutral. So in the next slide we'll be looking at some of the examples so that you can practice. Let's look at some of the examples of how to write the formula for an ionic compound. Always remember that when an ionic compound is given, the first element will be a cation, the second element will be an anion. Based on the position of these elements in the periodic table, you can identify their charges. Sodium being a metal belonging to group 1, so first step is to write the symbol of the element along with the charge. So group 1, so +1. Oxygen belongs to group 16, so symbol is O, so and the charge is -2. So you can see here that the charges are not same. So when the charges are not same, I have to cross these charges. So when I do that, the formula will be Na2O. So this is the formula for sodium oxide. Now let me check if the overall charge is 0, because you know that the ionic compound is neutral. So sodium, the charge is +1. So you have two sodiums in the formula. So 2 into +1 plus. Oxygen charge is -2. You have one oxygen. So 1 time -2, which gives me the total charge 0. That means the formula is right. Second example is aluminium sulfide. Again, it is a cation. Second part is an anion. Write the symbol of aluminium along with the charge. It belongs to group 13, charge is +3. Sulfur belongs to group 16, charge is -2. So I've written the symbols along with the charges. You can see the charges are not same. So I have to cross the charges. When I do that, the formula will be Al2S3. Now let me check if it is 0, the total charge. So 2 into charge of aluminium is +3, plus 3 into charge of sulfur is -2. So 6 minus 6, it is 0. So this formula is also right. Example 3, barium sulfide. Again, this is a cation, this is an anion. Write the symbol, that is Ba. Charge is +2. Sulfur S, charge is -2. Now here you can see that the charges are same. When the charges are same, they will cancel out and the formula will be Bas. Okay, let me check the total charge. One barium with charge of +2 plus one sulfur with charge of -2. So 2 minus 2, that is equal to 0. Okay, so this is how you do it. One more thing you have to remember, all the cations and anions used here are monoatomic, so I'm not going to use any brackets anywhere in the formula. Okay, no using brackets for monoatomic ions. Brackets are used for polyatomic ions when they are having a subscript which is more than 1. Let's discuss some of the examples taking the oxyanions. So example 1 is aluminium nitrate. As you know, the first element is always a cation, second element is an anion. Aluminium belongs to group 13 and it will have a charge. The step 1 is to write the symbol along with the charge. So Al with +3. Nitrate will be having a charge NO3 and -1. Okay, now if you see the charges are unlike, so when the charges are unlike, you know that you are going to cross over. Also, you know that when you have a polyatomic ion, you are supposed to use the bracket. So the name of the formula of the final compound will be Al. It is 1, so I'm not writing it because you're not supposed to write 1, and bracket NO3 thrice. So this is the formula for aluminium nitrate. Okay, again you can check the charges here. Aluminium is plus 3. Nitrate, each single charge is minus 1. So there are 3 nitrates. So plus 3 into minus 1. So 3 minus 3, that is 0. Okay. In the same way, if you see the second example, sodium hydroxide. Sodium is a cation, hydroxide OH. So sodium group 1, so plus 1. OH, polyatomic anion, minus 1 is the charge. This one you have to memorize. Now if you see the charges are same, so when the charges are same, they cancel out, and the formula will be NaOH. Now I didn't use the bracket here for OH because the suffix for OH is 1. So when there are the suffix is 1, no need of using the bracket. Okay, third example, ammonium sulfate. Again, ammonium is a polyatomic cation, and the formula is NH4, and the charge is plus 1. Sulfate, polyatomic anion, SO4, and the charge is 2 minus. Again, the charges are unequal, so there will be crossing of the charges, crossover method. When you do this, you can see that NH4 will be having a subscript 2. So polyatomic ions, as I've told earlier, you're supposed to make use of the bracket. So the formula will be NH4 twice. Since it is 1 here, I'm not going to use the bracket even though it is a polyatomic ion. I'm writing it as it is, as SO4. So this is the formula for ammonium sulfate. Let's look at the steps to write the name for ionic compounds. Step 1 is to write the name of the cation first and then followed by the anion. For the anion, you have to keep in mind that when the anion is monoatomic, the prefix, the ending will be IDE. When it is polyatomic, the name of the polyatomic ion is written as it is. So in the next slide, we will look at the examples. So here are some of the examples. So example 1, KCl. K is potassium. Cl is a monoatomic anion, so it should end with IDE, so the name will be potassium chloride. In the same way, the second example, Ca, that is calcium. Br, again it is monoatomic anion, so it will end as IDE, so calcium bromide, and so on. You can refer to the examples. Here are some examples of naming ionic compounds which includes polyatomic ions. The rules are same, but the name of the anion will not end with IDE because we have polyatomic anions here, oxyanions here. So here the first example, if you see, it has Al, so it is aluminium, and second part contains a oxyanion, that is sulfate, so the name is written as it is. In the same way, second example, potassium chlorate. Third one is aluminum hydroxide, and here you can see ammonium sulfate. So the name of the, if oxyanions are present, the name is written as it is, but if it is a monoatomic anion, then the ending should be IDE. Here are some quiz questions. Pause the video and try solving the questions on your own.